What up, though? Boss of all bosses. And today I'm coming to tell all my supporters, if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you got, you trying to make it go up, hit me right now.
Y'all gonna be disappointed when Lil Baby don't show up? When Skilla don't show up? When Vizzo don't show up? And all these show up?
Big Meech's giant welcome home concert
I told you it was gonna get
canceled.
What'd I tell you?
The bill was
What did
insane.
I say?
The list of artists on it was...
This situation is pretty crazy. We're talking about Big Meech. He's the guy who was the original boss of BMF. He's a legend because he started with nothing and built a huge, powerful empire. Well, according to the rumors, Meech is really upset right now. He's been hearing some things that are making him angry. The word going around is that Meech found out that Rick Ross has been spending a lot of time with 50 Cent lately. If you know the story between these three men, you know that this is a big deal. This is like crossing a line that you are not supposed to cross. It all started a long time ago when Rick Ross basically said he looked up to Meech. He even used to say, "I think I'm Big Meech," meaning he wanted to be like him. But now, from Meech's point of view, things have completely changed. He doesn't see it as admiration anymore. He sees Rick Ross getting close to 50 Cent as a straight-up betrayal. It feels like Ross is being disloyal. And when someone like Big Meech has something to say about this, everyone in the music industry and on the street pays very close attention. They all listen because his opinion carries a lot of weight.
Put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal.
Let's go back in time for a minute to understand this better. When Rick Ross was first becoming famous, a big part of his image was connected to the idea of BMF. His music and his style were all about the things BMF represented. He rapped about having huge, expensive cars, a life of luxury, and a feeling of being powerful and in charge. He had that energy of a classic mob boss from the movies. He even had a very popular song that was literally called BMF. That song was a massive hit and got everyone talking. The whole idea behind the song was to pay his respects. It was meant as a tribute and a sign of admiration for Big Meech and the entire BMF story. And at the beginning, Big Meech actually appreciated this. He saw what Rick Ross was doing, and he took it as a sign of love and respect. From where Meech was sitting, it felt like Rick Ross was helping to keep the BMF name important and relevant while Meech himself was in prison and couldn't do it himself. It didn't stop with just the music either. In interviews, Rick Ross would often talk about BMF. He would shout them out and praise them. The way he acted in public, that whole larger-than-life boss personality, was very similar to the iconic lifestyle that Big Meech had originally made famous.
I never folded, never told, never will. Death before the sun.
But the people on Meech's side have always been incredibly loyal. They have stuck together through everything. The name BMF is not just a word, it means something very important and powerful. That kind of reputation has a lot of value, and it was earned through a lot of hard work and sacrifice. It definitely did not come easy. So, when 50 Cent came into the picture, the situation felt very different. 50 Cent didn't just make a song, he created an entire television show based on BMF. He built a whole TV universe around their story, their image, and their brand. He used everything that made BMF famous to make a successful TV series. And that show went on to make many, many millions of dollars. From the point of view of Meech and his people, they felt like they weren't being properly recognized or given their fair share of credit for their own life stories. They saw someone else getting rich and famous from their experiences. And this is where Rick Ross comes back into the picture. Because of his past respect for Meech, Ross was seen as someone who should have been on their side. He was supposed to be like family, understanding the true value of the BMF name. So, seeing Ross get friendly with 50 Cent, the person profiting from their story, is what really started the problem. That friendship is what truly made Meech feel angry and betrayed.
Y'all gonna be disappointed when Lil Baby don't show up? When Skilla don't show up? When Vizzo don't show up? And all these show up?
Problem with some rappers. Some rappers think they war ready and they beef ready till they step into the beef. And then they get somebody coming at them crazy. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what it's like to have beef with 50 Cent?
Mm-hmm.
50 Cent is incredible with the beef, not just musically. With every day he was going viral. Yo, your mother, your wife. I'm like, oh my God, this guy here. Like, don't get beef with 50 Cent.
According to people who are close to Big Meech, there was one specific moment that changed everything. That moment was when Meech heard that Rick Ross was publicly talking about 50 Cent's BMF television show. Ross was giving the show a lot of praise. He was saying that he thought the show was genius and that 50 Cent did a really great job with it. When Meech heard about these comments, that is when the entire situation turned in his mind. From Meech's point of view, what Ross said was not just a simple compliment. It was not him just supporting another artist. To Meech, it felt much more serious than that. He saw it as a direct betrayal. This is because in Meech's world, the idea of loyalty is the most important thing. It is not something that can change depending on the situation. The rules are very clear and simple. In his eyes, you have to make a choice. You are either on one side, riding with your family and supporting them no matter what, or you are on the other side, standing with the people who are against them. There is no middle ground and there is no in-between.
I can't believe a stand-up dude doing his time would suddenly say, I don't want to be here no more. I'm going to become a rat.
For a very long time now, Rick Ross has always explained his actions in a certain way. He has said over and over that he made his famous song about BMF out of love. He said it came from a place of deep respect for what Big Meech represented. He admired Meech's hustle and his big vision for the future. But the problem is that Big Meech doesn't see it that way anymore. His opinion has completely changed, especially after this recent situation. He can't see Ross's actions as respectful, not after the sudden and strong wave of support Ross has been showing for 50 Cent. It's really important to remember the history here. 50 Cent and Rick Ross have not been friends. In fact, they have been having a serious feud for more than 10 years. They have argued through diss tracks, they have had lawsuits against each other, and there has been a lot of personal drama between them for a very long time. So, for Big Meech, who has known Ross since way back in the day, this new friendship looks very strange. Seeing Ross get so cozy and friendly with 50 Cent now doesn't feel like a simple sign of respect to Meech. Instead, it feels like something that was planned out. It seems less like a genuine friendship and more like a strategic move in a game of chess, a play for power that doesn't have any real loyalty behind it.
So BMF is BMF, but not because of 50, it's because of Big Meech, right? That's his story, that's his life, right? So I don't think 50 doing him no favors. They both profited, right?
And that's when people on the street and in the music industry really started to talk. They began quietly sharing their own opinions about what was happening. The main thing people were saying was that Rick Ross might not really care about the BMF name for what it stands for. Instead, they whispered that he was only using the BMF story and its famous reputation to help himself. They said he was using it to stay famous and important in the music world. The big accusation everyone was talking about was that Ross was choosing to go after money and success instead of sticking with the loyalty he was supposed to have. And when rumors and whispers like that start, they don't just quietly go away. They tend to stick around and get louder. So, it was only a matter of time before the street talk made its way back to Big Meech himself. His friends and people close to him told him exactly what everyone was saying. And when Meech heard these rumors, he did not just ignore them or laugh them off. He took the situation very, very seriously.
I owe you no loyalty. That mean I can't go get money elsewhere, right? If more money get presented to me, right, I'm going to go get me a bag. I just did 20 years in prison, right? I'm not finna let nobody stop no bags come in because of y'all beef, bro.
Someone who works very closely with Big Meech recently explained how Meech was feeling about the whole situation. This person said that after everything happened, Meech felt like he had been tricked and used. He felt like Ross had played him. The associate explained that Rick Ross used to talk like he was part of the family. He used words that made it seem like he was a loyal friend and that he understood their world. But then, Ross turned around and was publicly saying good things about 50 Cent. And 50 Cent is a person who is making a huge amount of money from the BMF name and from Meech's own life story, all without getting Meech's direct permission or blessing. These are very strong and serious words, especially when they are connected to someone like Big Meech. Meech has built his entire life and reputation on a few key ideas. He has always lived by a set of rules, a strong personal code of how to act, and the absolute importance of being loyal to your people. So for him, this situation was not just about being angry or having his pride hurt. It went much deeper than that. To Meech, this was about something much bigger. It was about protecting the story of his life and the name he built. It was about his legacy and how people would remember him and his work long into the future.
Dude, we're playing with dude. You know, I'm gonna say that much. Over and out. I catch y'all when I catch y'all.
Here's the part that makes the situation so difficult for Meech. While Rick Ross is out in the world, living a life of luxury and freedom, he is still using the famous line, "I think I'm Big Meech." But the real Big Meech, the actual person, is in a very different situation. He is behind prison walls, locked up and unable to speak for himself. His main fight right now is to protect his own name and his own life story from the outside. He doesn't have the same freedom that other people have. He can't just get on social media and post a side of the story. He can't immediately respond and correct people every single time someone uses his identity or makes money from his experiences. He is in a position where he has to watch from a distance. So, when Rick Ross decides to become friendly and align himself with 50 Cent, it creates a very specific problem. 50 Cent is the very same person who is making many millions of dollars from the story of Meech's life and his legacy. For Meech, watching these two men work together while he is unable to do anything about it is the ultimate sign of disrespect.
Legacy.
Look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film.
In a situation like this, Big Meech is going to feel incredibly disrespected. That feeling is almost guaranteed. However, to be fair to Rick Ross, it's important to listen to what his side is saying. The people close to Ross have been putting out their own explanation. They are saying that Ross's actions are not about choosing one side over another in a feud. They say it's really about the art of telling stories in hip-hop. They claim it's about giving credit and respect to the legends who helped shape the culture, which they call giving them their flowers. And you know, maybe there is some truth to what they are saying. Maybe that is a part of Ross's real intention. But in the world of the streets, the situation around an action is the most important thing. The context is everything. In that world, who you are seen with matters a great deal. Who you publicly stand next to sends a very powerful message. You cannot go out and have a friendly drink with someone that your brother, or someone you called family, considers their enemy. If you do that, you cannot expect that things will just stay peaceful and cool between everyone. It's just not how it works. So now we are left in this really strange and complicated spot. Big Meech, on one side, feels completely betrayed by someone he trusted. Rick Ross, on the other side, is saying that he didn't do anything wrong and that his intentions were good. And then there is 50 Cent, who is just sitting back and not really getting involved in the arguing. He is probably just watching the whole situation play out, most likely with a grin on his face behind the scenes. Because this is what 50 Cent is really good at. His superpower is controlling the story and making other people react to him. He sets things up so that everyone else has to move to the beat that he is playing. And whether Rick Ross meant to do it or not, he has just stepped right into 50 Cent's plan. It's like he unknowingly walked onto a stage where 50 Cent is the conductor, and now he's part of 50's orchestra.
What up, though, boss of all bosses? And today I'm coming to tell all my supporters, if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you got, you trying to make it go up, hit me right now.
50
had your key. Do you know what your one key? Me and you got the same key to any embarrassment. Whether it's factual or not, what is it? What's your key?
Being exposed?
Lena,
okay.
To be fair, we have to listen to what Rick Ross and the people around him are saying. They explain that this whole situation isn't about choosing one side over another in a fight. They say that Ross is just focused on telling important stories from hip-hop history. He wants to give credit to the legends who helped build the culture, which is something people call giving them their flowers. And you know, maybe there is some real truth to that explanation. Maybe that was a big part of his plan. But the problem is that this isn't happening in a normal world. It's happening in the world of the streets. And in that world, your actions are judged very carefully. Who you are seen with in public sends a powerful message. It's a simple but serious rule. You cannot be close friends with a person that your brother, or someone you called family, considers an enemy. If you do that, you absolutely cannot expect that everything will just stay peaceful and cool between everyone. It just doesn't work that way. So now we are stuck in this really awkward and complicated standoff. On one side, Big Meech is sitting in his cell, feeling completely betrayed by someone he once trusted. On the other side, Rick Ross is publicly stating that he hasn't done anything wrong and that his intentions were good all along. And then, right in the middle of it all is 50 Cent. He isn't really taking a strong side, he's just relaxing and watching the entire drama unfold from a distance. Manipulating a story like this is what 50 Cent is an expert at, and it seems like Ross unknowingly stepped right into the trap that 50 had set. 50 Cent has even talked about this in interviews. He has said that he doesn't feel he needs to explain his actions to anyone. He claims that Meech respects the successful business and the television show that he built. And while Meech might respect a smart business move, that is completely different from being okay with how everything is happening. Agreeing that something is a good business idea does not mean you are fine with people profiting from your personal life story. For a legendary figure like Big Meech, his story isn't just a plot for a movie or a song. It is his actual life, with real struggles and real consequences. So, when other people, especially former friends, make millions of dollars using his name and his legacy without getting his true blessing, it feels very personal. It feels like they are using his reflection, his very identity, to build their own empires and make themselves richer and more famous. Meech has been in the game for a very long time. He understands how the music industry works, and he has seen how people can change when money and fame are involved. So, when he saw the photos and heard the news of Rick Ross and 50 Cent laughing together and talking about business, the message was received loud and clear. The loyalty he believed was strong and unbreakable turned out to be something that could be bargained with or even set aside. That realization is what causes the most pain. Rick Ross isn't just some random rapper to Meech. He is the artist who famously built his whole boss image by saying, "I think I'm Big Meech." So, to see that same man now publicly praising and supporting 50 Cent, the person who turned Meech's own life, his pain, and his journey into a form of entertainment, doesn't feel like respect. It hits much harder than that. It feels like a deep and personal betrayal, disguised as a friendly business relationship. To be clear, Big Meech isn't out here trying to start a big war or a feud, but he is making his position very clear. He is drawing a line in the sand. He wants people to respect the name he built and the foundation he laid down for others. In the culture of the streets, there is a very thin, almost invisible, border between showing admiration for someone and exploiting their story for your own gain. That line is the most important thing. It means everything. And once someone decides to cross it, there is no going back and pretending it never happened.